Holding some space for love. Take action challenge number 21. So this challenge requires us, I guess there's two parts of it. One is a self-soothing part, so finding some space to love yourself. And the other is finding some space with others, so to be a little bit more vulnerable and to share some of your I guess the things that hurt you with other people. Talk about it, find support networks. It is something, this holding space is, it's a difficult one for me. It is one I've spent a lot of times around with lately in a number of ways, coming at it from a number of angles. In the podcast, Dr. Aziz and Dr. Susan Campbell. One thing that Dr. Campbell said for me that really struck a chord was she's still got a long ways to go. She's 78 years old now, and she still has a long ways to go. So sometimes you get in this mindset that you're not making any progress and that type of thing. But it just goes to show that it's an ongoing journey. It's we're made for growth, and some of this healing takes a while, and we're really just becoming more conscious of a lot of the things, both good and not so good, that have held us back. So one thing they talk about, I'm a little bit tongue tied to here this morning. One thing they talked a little bit about in the podcast, in the interview, was at some point in our childhood, in our youth, in our earlier stages of development, we may have not have gotten necessarily our needs met, or maybe it's something we needed, and because we were young and different things may have happened in our lives where we needed a parent, a guardian, a friend, someone to hold space for us, someone to acknowledge our feelings and tell us it was going to be all right. Now, some of us may have even got the opposite message. Our feelings may not have been validated. They actually may have been kind of either pushed aside or reprimanded. So we learn to block our feelings. We learn to have shame about our feelings. We learn that it's not right to feel or show emotion about needs or to express your feelings. And this is, we may not even be consciously aware of. And part of what this holding space is to gain some conscious awareness of these feelings, these maybe repressed emotions. So we're just looking to, if we're in an interaction, something comes up. If we're alone, if the time is right, we can just find a little bit of space. You can put your hand on your heart. We've done this in a previous challenge. Just allow yourself to feel. Sometimes there may be a connection to some other event or something from your past that may pop into your mind. That feeling may be associated with something else. If it is, just hold that space for yourself. Become conscious of it. Don't judge yourself. Just become curious. Why is this feeling coming up? Why do you have this block? A lot of this is a safety behavior. It's something that you learn, and it's there for a reason. So it's saving you from unnecessary harm in the short term. But we may want to get in touch with those feelings so we can move on. So, a lot of times, if we make that space, now that can be through meditation, that can be through, like I said, just putting your hand on your heart and getting in touch with these feelings. That can be through a number of different methods. Just allowing yourself to feel, allowing yourself to relive the emotion and not try to block it out, because a lot of times we may have blocked out these emotions. So that's one part. That was the part of the challenge that involved self work, self reassurance, self soothing, self love, self compassion. Finding that having being kind of like being a self compassionate parent, but doing it by creating some space for yourself, acknowledging your needs, and meeting those needs through more healthy avenues. That's the first part. The second part of this Take Action Challenge was to reach out to others, to share some of these feelings with, could be family, it could be your husband or wife, it could be close friends, that type of thing. So just sharing these, making some space to share these moments with others. Now, this is a great one of the values I find in groups, especially as you meet people in groups and you kind of break off on a one-on-one, or you know, just to be able to have those deeper conversations with like-minded people that they're not going to judge and criticize or ridicule, because that's sometimes, a lot of the times, some of the things we're afraid of when it comes to sharing these things, looking weak or looking like we, or feeling that we may be ridiculed or that type of thing. So of course you find someone that you feel safe, someone that's not going to be judgmental. And thinking of these challenges, I've been doing a lot of the first part myself, which I'm going to continue to do, of course. I actually had a nice little meditation challenge just this morning where I held some space for myself, and it really brought up some emotion from the past. And I just felt it, kind of analyzed it a little bit, but more or less just I kind of meditated with it, let the emotion work itself through me, and I feel much better. The other one, well, this corona thing, initially, some of the networks I've built up are starting to fade away a little bit. I'm not always doing my own part to keep things open. I find that through this pandemic, where we don't have those groups, those physical contact as much, I got to take a lot more of the onus on myself to reach out to others. There have been some people reaching out to me as well, but I can't wait or rely on that. And I can often go into a state where I just want to be alone and want to avoid, and kind of go through back into some old patterns. So I got to be cognizant of that and make some space for that. One, I'm it's Mother's Day today. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. But I'm going out to see my mother now. I'm going to have a nice conversation with her. But I'm also taking my son with me. So I'm going to have a nice conversation with him on the way out and the way back, and going to try to express some feelings and emotions that I have not necessarily expressed or not expressed well in the past. It's not going to be easy, but I'm just going to create that space and try that out. So that is the Take Action Challenge number 21. Let's create some space for yourself, for some self-healing, self-love, self-compassion. Also, create that space and share that part of that with others, just to help in your own growth process, and it will help others as well. So please feel free to comment, make some suggestions, and take on some of these challenges yourself. See how they make you feel. I know I got a long journey ahead of me, and holding some space for love will definitely be a part of my journey going forward.